Visionary queens and the bosses, no glasses. TammyRenee microphone, fire she embraces. Stories reshape, no trace of stasis. Echoes of heroes, waves they create. Lessons in the struggle, heavy as fate. Voices of inspiration, elevate the state. Wave of change ripples, never too late. Leaders who inspire.
Come on in to Wave of Change, where we are interviewing leaders who inspire action, sharing stories, giving tips, and dropping gems. Come make some waves with us. Share, comment, like, ask a question. If you are catching this replay, you know what to do. Hit hashtag replay. Let us know you're here with us. My name is TammyRenee, here to help you make a change and take action in life. Today, we are talking about how to recover from burnout and overwhelm to addressing the body, mind, and spirit. Drop a wave in the comments and let's welcome Atara Parkinson, licensed marriage and family therapist, practicing mental health for 14 years and currently has a holistic practice. I am so happy to have you here today. Will you share a little bit about yourself, your name, and what you do?
Yeah, of course. So, hi, everybody. My name is Atara Parkinson, and I am a licensed mental health therapist. And I have been practicing for 14 years, which makes me feel so old every time I say that in an interview. But I love what I do. What I have discovered on my own journey is I had two major health crashes. One right after my graduate school, and one after postpartum with my first and second child, which resulted in postpartum anxiety and rage, which we'll talk about a little bit more later. But that then spurred on my drive to say, what is going on, right? What is happening between the body and the mind and the way that they're interconnected? And in our culture currently, we really separate out these two categories and treat them as two separate things. And actually, what would benefit people the most is to treat them together. So I'm super passionate to be able to do that in my coaching. And I coach people on their physical health and getting in the right minerals for their bodies, but also doing some of that mind and mental work in what are the beliefs that hold me back and how do I break through those so I can accomplish what I want in my
That's exciting. That's a lot. Congratulations on getting over those two struggles that you had. So,
life.
share a little bit about those two struggles. Did you say one was after college and one was after postpartum? Yeah.
What? Yes, the first was after my graduate work, and so I was getting my master's in to be a therapist, and that's a really intensive phase of life. I was taking my classes. I was working full time, 40 hours a week with a very intense population, men who had previously been incarcerated. And then I was doing my practicum, which is another 20 hours a week with girls in the foster care system. So it was it was a lot going on top of that, in my personal life, I was training for half marathons. I was under eating, under sleeping, binge drinking some, right, to cope with all of it. So my body, about a year later, just said no. It said, we're not doing this anymore. And what that really looked like in the physical world was extreme exhaustion. We typically call burnout, extreme fatigue. I couldn't get out of bed, Tammy, for more than a couple hours at a time. So I
Wow.
would get up, go about my day. About 2 hours later, I was so exhausted, I had to go back to bed. As you can imagine, that's not sustainable, right? To have to take two, or, three naps a day. It's not realistic for our culture. So I really started looking at like what is happening here. Really forced to look at what was happening with my body. I went to an allopathic doctor, a Western medicine doctor, and he said, okay, we're going to run your labs. I got all excited. We're going to figure out what's wrong with me, only to come back a couple weeks later and him to almost like shrug his shoulders and say to me, your labs look fine.
Mm.
And I said, what? I'm not fine. And he's, well, I don't know, maybe try a vegan diet. And I almost laughed because I was like, I'm on a raw vegan diet. I thought that would fix things, and it wasn't. So this started the journey of looking into alternative medicine, and I'm so thankful that I got connected to a great doctor who ran some other tests about my neurotransmitters. And neurotransmitters are like your messengers in the brain. And the neurotransmitters that are responsible for our fight or flight responses, or what we typically look at as anxiety as well, were through the roof. They were like off the charts.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was intense to see. And my calming neurotransmitters, the neurotransmitters that communicate to your brain and body, we're safe, it's okay. They were like bottomed out, non-existent on that
Oh,
chart.
wow.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine living in that state. It's always did it
Mm.
always feel like you were always in flight? I mean, fight?
So yeah, so it's interesting that I wasn't able to recognize it as I was in it. It just felt
Mm.
somewhat normal to me, of this go 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 energy. And I'll give examples of what I hear from clients all the time. It's like I always have to be doing something. If I'm trying to rest, it feels uncomfortable. Is
Hmm.
often what I'll hear. This is what I hear from people in this state. Are light bulbs going off, TammyRenee, for you?
Yes.
Okay, well, we
I
might need to
don't
get some minerals in your
I
body.
don't rest. I
Mm.
can't.
Okay.
I can't. I'm like, that's normal for me.
Yes.
Fine.
Yeah.
So
Same. And what I'll say is I've always been a go-getter. I've always been high energy. I've always been wanting to accomplish a lot of things. That's always been my personality traits. But what this kind of started to turn into was the inability to sit with myself,
yeah.
to, like we said, rest or enjoy, just like be present in an activity. My mind felt like it was constantly in fast forward, like 3 steps ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So here's what we do, right? Here's what we do for this is it's twofold. We're gonna hit the mental health component of that, because there's something that has happened in, I call it our programming, right? Of what became the normal for us, whether that was through parenting, our family origin. I see a lot often performing to get approval or praise is a common one. And this became a system, a program in us that then, turns into a belief system of I have to keep performing in order to be loved in life. And so
Mhm.
we want to basically break that down, that belief system that is not serving us. And one way that I love to do that with clients is called brain spotting. And this is a therapeutic technique that uses the field of vision to access where these core beliefs, also traumas, are held in the brain.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh. Yes. And then as we find that spot in our field of vision, we fixate our eyes on that, and that helps our brain drop into a different part of our brain than we would typically use as we talk. What we're using as, like, you and I talk right now, is our upper part of our brain called our neocortex. But actually, that's not where trauma is held. Most of the time, trauma is held in our subcortical brain or our midbrain. And we need to be able to access that in order to release it. And
Wow.
it's, yes. So that's a piece. And then the other piece is this physical part of our body, right? So what I was talking about, literally our neurotransmitters are not balanced, and these, and hormones as well. All of the body is reliant on minerals in order to do the necessary tasks that it needs. So let me give you an example, Tammy, right?
Please.
If I'm going through my day and I wake up in the morning and my alarm didn't go off. Oh my gosh, now I'm rushed. I'm stressed. I need to get to where I need to get to on time. I'm starting to run around, pick up all my things. I'm using my mind to go, what do I need for right now? Right? What am I going to need for later on during the day? I'm trying to keep myself calm.
Mhm.
All of these processes are using mineral stores. Okay. And I'll go through the core four for y'all out there listening. The core four,
Some
yes,
tips.
foundational
Get some
four:
tips.
magnesium, potassium, sodium, and calcium. Okay. I always love to hit magnesium first, because if you're in this state, this kind of like flight or flight anxious state, magnesium is going to be your best friend. Okay. Magnesium is going to bring that calming effect to the body and to the brain. And it's essential for over 3,000 functions in our body.
Hmm.
So again, I'm talking about mental health. Our brain needs magnesium in order to our neurotransmitters to fire, right? But also our body. So for example, the fact that I can move my hands through the air smoothly, it uses magnesium. If you're seeing muscle twitches, commonly women will start to complain of Charlie horses,
Hmm.
right? Or restless legs. Aha, there you go, Terry. That's a sign you need some more magnesium or mineral balancing in your life, right?
Let me just drop this really
Hmm.
quick.
Let's
So
hear it.
maybe about 2 weeks ago, I was just laying in the bed and I got this Charlie horse. But
Mm.
I haven't had one in years, but it was so painful. I
Oh,
was in tears. So
oh no.
would that be a
That's
sign
what
I need magnesium?
Get some magnesium in
Wow.
there.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. And minerals are synergistic, meaning they work together in the body. So we typically don't just want to like focus on one. We want to look at all of them and what's happening specifically in our body. And that's what I do with clients is we'll look at, okay, what are the symptoms showing up here? And how can we make sure that we have foundations of all of these minerals, whether in supplement or in food form, to get you into better health and rebalance. I also work with two functional nutritionists. So if you're the type of person you're like, I want to see it on paper, Atara. Like I want to see on the chart that my magnesium is out of balance. We can get you connected to these wonderful women I work with, and they'll do what's called an HTMA, which is a hair mineral test. And then you can have the numbers in front of you. That's another great way to work. But anyways, so magnesium,
Can't
we
get the
talked about.
DNA wrong, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's great because a hair, real quick side note, a hair tissue mineral analysis is a 3 month window of time versus when you get your blood drawn. A blood draw is a single moment in time. It's
Mm.
not giving you this larger window. So people will say, actually, I had a client the other week say, well, Atara, got my blood drawn and my magnesium's fine. I was like, yeah, in your blood. And why that happens is because your blood has to stay at a certain level to keep you alive. So the first place that your blood or if you're low in magnesium, it's going to show up in your blood last. Okay? It will show up first in places that aren't essential for survival, like your hair, your nails. Nails are a sign if you have ridges, if they're brittle, a lot of stuff going on with the nails. Those are also indicators of mineral deficiencies or imbalances. And teeth, right? You start to have teeth and gum problems. Another real clear indicator that the minerals aren't there as they need to be. So we
Wow.
talked about magnesium. Potassium's the other super important one that I see a lot of deficiency in. 98% actually of Americans are deficient in potassium. So it's a big one. Magnesium and potassium are the two major ones I see that people are struggling with.
Can't we just eat
Potassium.
banana?
I love that question, Tammy.
I
Well,
mean,
do
that's
you
what we
like to
think.
eat? Yeah, that's what we think. I love it. I was just gonna say, do you like to eat the peel of the banana?
That's where it's at.
That's where it's at. Most of it.
Oh,
There,
wow.
yes, there is potassium in the actual banana fruit, but majority of it is hiding in that peel.
So they're
Yep.
not lying that it's in there, but they're not telling us the truth that we're not
Right.
getting it.
They're not saying the whole truth. I love that. So let's say some other practical sources that you might like of potassium. Do you enjoy bacon?
I used to,
Florida.
but
Okay.
it depends on what it is.
Okay. Okay.
Back
So
into it.
bacon actually has more potassium than a banana has.
Did you say bacon or bacon?
Bacon,
Like,
the meat. Yeah.
oh, well, I'm kind of a vegetarian, so I don't eat beef and pork.
Okay, got it. Okay, well, here's another one for you then. How about coconut water?
Yeah, I will drink coconut
You drink
water.
coconut water. Okay, here's a great way. Coconut water is super high in potassium. I love to do it with a squeeze of lime and a little sprinkle of high quality sea salt in there. You mix that up. Ooh, girl, on a hot day especially, it is delicious. So refreshing. And you're hitting some great minerals, some vitamin C from that citrus, and then getting some sodium in there too. So that's a great way to get potassium. Another great source of potassium is potatoes. We
Mm.
love potatoes, especially as women. In certain parts of our cycle, you will be more drawn to carbs, starches, sugars.
Mm.
That's because the body is requiring more carbohydrates, yes, but also potassium.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yep. So my favorite actually is sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. I'll batch cook 4 or 5 sweet potatoes for the week and then just pull one out in the morning when I want to eat it. I'll slap some high quality butter on there, salt and pepper. It's delicious, right?
Wow. Y'all getting
Yes,
these tips,
I
right?
know.
You
Write
gotta
them
write
down.
these down because I'm writing mine down. These are some great tips.
I love it.
Told you,
So
tips and gems.
yes, perfect. That's potassium. Sodium's an obvious one, right? What we want from our sodium, though, is to look for an unprocessed sodium. So we want a salt that is quality. Your typical table salt that you get at the store is highly processed, and what happens in that is some of those other trace minerals that would naturally be in salt get taken out through that process. So something a brand I like is Baja Gold. You can find them on Amazon. Another brand I really enjoy would be Redmond Sea Salt from Utah. Both of these are unprocessed sodiums forms, but it also has trace minerals in there. So you're getting some combination of these. And the last one we didn't do was calcium. Calcium is one that's typically given in supplement form. The problem with that is that when we supplement too much with calcium, it starts to drive down these other minerals. Remember, because I said minerals are synergistic, they impact each other. So instead, ideally, we're getting calcium from food sources, dairy, right?
Mhm.
Yogurt, kefir, certain fish actually. Small fish, like I don't enjoy sardines, I'm not gonna lie. I usually do use dairy, but if you like sardines, guess what? You're getting a good hit of your calcium in there as well.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yep.
I wouldn't
So,
have thought that about sardines.
yeah, I know it's always surprising, right? When we look at some of these food sources, and
I
that's what
know
I love to
why.
do. What?
The bones they leave in there.
That's part of the reason, Tammy. Great
Ah.
job. Look at you, smart girl. I love it. So this is what I help people do, Tammy, is to explore what is going on with my symptoms that is impacting my life, and then what can I do about it, right? So for example, we didn't really get to magnesium in terms of how to get it into your diet, but a great way is actual spring waters or mineral waters are a great source
Which
of
one is this one
magnesium.
for?
Magnesium.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And then my other favorite really easy way is actually uh transdermal, meaning on your skin, okay, and through your skin. So
Mm,
that would be in lotions. And
mm.
also what I we do in our household is add magnesium bath plates to my kids' bathtub. They're getting the magnesium. I will put my feet in up to my ankles and soak my feet as they're taking their bath. And then it's win-win. They're getting hit with magnesium, I'm getting hit, and then I sleep like a baby.
Ah, who would have ever thunk it, right?
Yes,
That
yes, life
these
changing.
4 minerals
Mhm.
could take you out of fight or flight
Yes,
energy and
yes.
bring that calming and more focus. And what are the other benefits of?
So many, Tammy. Um, Minerals again impact every single system in our body. So we hit it really on the mental health, but let's talk about, for example, our endocrine system, our thyroid. Okay. Our thyroid is super important actually and connected to our metabolic health, meaning how we digest food and our body turning it into energy.
Hmm.
So you're low on energy, you're fighting with depression or a lot of fatigue, get focused on fixing your thyroid with minerals, okay?
Oh,
Which
wow.
then in turn is going to impact your metabolic health. That really is also going to help. I saw weight loss, which I know is a big driver for people. They're like, I'm holding on to all this excess
Wait,
weight and
wait.
it's hard for me.
Can we rewind?
Yes.
what do we do for the weight loss? Because I know a lot of people will have those questions.
Yes.
Right, and I asked that because I
Mm,
felt bloated now for the last 6
mm.
months.
Okay.
And I'm not sleeping, but it doesn't bother me, but because I'm used to it. So
Mm.
this is all making sense. If I just take my minerals,
Yep.
right,
Yes,
and come
ma'am.
and talk to you to
Yes,
get it
ma'am.
right,
Hmm.
it will balance.
It will balance. Right. And so I've seen reports, which has been amazing. This is anecdotally, but people who started drinking, switching their regular tap water or RO water, which is also, by the way, like dead water, it's drained of minerals, and switching to a spring water or a mineral water. And they are like, I lost 10 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Right? Yep. Yep. Because again, the minerals are protective of all of our systems. And so when for example, our thyroid is making hormones, right? And when we have the minerals and the appropriate hormones can get made and our body isn't stressed, our body is in, which I saw very clearly and I described at the beginning, when our body is in stress, you'll see a response, and part of that response actually is holding on to weight. We know that when our cortisol level, our stress hormone, is elevated, our body naturally holds on to the weight. So we want to undo that by saying we're okay, and part of that is giving the minerals to our body.
Well, I'm gonna need your links. Add
Of
these
course, ma'am.
minerals
Yes, ma'am.
because I'm
Absolutely.
going to add them in, and I'm gonna be a testimony. Like I
I love it.
add these in.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, because
Here's what I saw.
so
Yep.
used to being in
Mm.
fight
Yep.
that being in a relaxed stage, I don't even
Mm.
sit down and watch TV
Hmm.
because I can't sit still for too long.
Yes. Okay. Don't worry. We're going to change that for you. And in a way that works for you, right?
Yeah.
That's what's so important. You're telling me, okay, I'm a vegetarian. Got it. I'm not going to try to force you to eat meat, but what can we do? How can we incorporate these for your life and your lifestyle that so we can get you to a better place of health. So my favorite two places that you can find me and connect with me, of course, are social media. I have a business page on Facebook. It's just my name, Atara Parkinson, and it's linked also to my Instagram. So you'll see the same information both places. On Instagram, I'm at atara.parkinson. But why I love sending people there is they can get a good feel through the feed of how I work, some of these basic recommendations. If you're not ready to work with someone yet, you can even start implementing some of these things. For example, I have a post on the magnesium sources that I enjoy taking and that have changed my life. I have a post, for example, on why bacon is good for you, right? And what it offers the body. So those are great places to find me. If you're curious, you have questions, or you want to know more details about the coaching, you can always just reach out and find me at Atara Parkinson at protonmail.com.
Yes, thank you. Oh my
You're
God.
so
That was
welcome.
great information. You guys make sure to reach out to Atara. She will give it to you straight.
Yes, I'd love to change
Right?
your life.
Because we stressed about stressing, right? And if we
So
can
true.
get past the stress of stressing, we
Mhm.
can move forward.
Yes. Yes,
There
ma'am.
were so many tips and gems for you to drop
Mhm.
today that you
Mm.
can take these and get started now. And then reach out to Atara and let her know
Yeah.
how it worked for you.
Yes, please.
And
Oh,
if
I'd love
you
to hear
want
it.
to continue to work with her, because
Mhm.
she did not mention earlier, she has her own private practice.
Mhm.
So make
Yes,
sure
ma'am.
you get in touch with her. Any other things that you have coming out that you would like to share?
Yeah,
Or
I also have a lot of podcast recordings that have some more information on some of what we talked about and also some of the brain spotting. If that piqued your curiosity, if you know, oh gosh, yes, I've tried therapy, I've tried talking through this issue or this trauma, and it hasn't been working, right? Please reach out and try. You don't have to sign up for therapy for life. Sometimes you can just come in and do a brain spotting or a couple sessions, and we can really see some change through that. And the other thing I do is a 12-week coaching package in which we walk through these layers and adding these steps in. For example, we'll do the magnesium 1 week and see how that impacts you. Then the next week you go, okay, I'm ready for the next layer. What can I add in now? Or maybe I want to change this in my diet. Maybe I want to focus on weight loss. What can I do? And we layer through the 12 weeks so that you don't feel overwhelmed and you have someone to walk you through that process.
Yeah. And, being healthy is a whole mindset.
Yes.
When we feel healthy, we make healthy choices. It's kind of like a game. It's like when you're losing weight, and as you start to lose weight, you start to make better choices because you're feeling good about yourself. And that's because we snuck those minerals in through the
Yeah, and I'm so glad you said that, Tammy, because this is an example I think really strikes a lot of people too, is sugar and having a sugar demon, right? And when we really crave sugar or can't put down sugar, it's actually because we're deficient in magnesium. And then when we eat sugar, it depletes us further in magnesium.
Oh,
And so
wow.
you could see around and around we go then, and we feel stuck, we feel ashamed, we feel guilty. Why can't I just not eat the ice cream? Well, it's not just about willpower. It's that there's literally something physically happening in your body that it's pulling you towards that sugar. And for me, it was that I wasn't making energy because I didn't have the minerals to make the energy. So then my body would be like, eat the sugar because that gives us a
Boost.
small hit, exactly, a small boost of that energy. And so that's when too it was really relieving for me at first. But and you're absolutely right. When we start to get these things on board, then everything else starts to feel like it falls into place more readily.
Oh, wow. I love how the way all that works together. If we
Yes.
just stop, look, listen, and pay attention, we
Mm-hmm.
can start seeing those patterns on how it all works together and
Exactly.
how we've been working against it,
Yes. Yeah. Not even knowing it, right? I think
Not
most people are like,
even
I
knowing
didn't
it.
even know. Yeah.
So that is our time. If you have any last statements you would like to say, this is the time to do it. I do want to thank everyone. I'm going to leave it to you for now, and then we're going to end the show.
I love it. Thank you so much. I just want to say that you're not alone, that there is support and that there is hope out there. So please, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you. Thank you. So that is a wrap for today on Riding the Wave. Follow Wave Philosophy. Tune in on Tuesday, Monday, and Wednesday on YouTube to catch the next Changing Wave podcast. We are going live on Wednesday on Facebook, so you can join us there too. So get out there, make some waves, make some change, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
From boardrooms to streets, revolutions begun. Leaders out here shining brighter than sun. The struggles, their triumphs, battles they won. Every tale a blueprint, breaking old run. Empowerment anthem, melodies align. Courage in the heartbeats, each unique sign. TammyRenee preaching truth's genuine shine. Wave of change rising, it's time to redefine. Leaders who inspire.